It is 5:55, July 26th, 2020. I have something that I'd like to share this morning. So let's get into it. The only fair system is one in which my desire for a thing meets your willingness to engage. The only fair system is one in which your desire for a thing meets my willingness to engage. Communist socialism outright denies this. Corporate capitalism outright denies this. Free trade promotes this. So, the truth is this. Communist socialism is wrong. Corporate capitalism is wrong. Both sides work together. The people lose. Slave labor in communist China supports corporate capitalism in America. Free trade does not have borders. Free trade does not require the sacrifice of one person's wealth for another person's wealth. Free trade limits a social structure's ability to manipulate markets. Free trade limits a corporate structure's ability to manipulate markets. Communist socialism claims that the role of the individual is non-existent, while corporate capitalism claims that the role of the individual is non-existent. Free trade demonstrates that the role of the individual is left to the determination of the individual. Communist socialism claims that the individual is nothing more than a construct. Corporate capitalism claims that the individual is only valuable within the construct. Free trade demonstrates that the individual is a human being. Communist socialism demands total conformity. Corporate capitalism demands total conformity. Free trade demonstrates that ideas belong to people, rather than that people belong to ideas. Communist socialism believes that there is no God. Corporate capitalism claims that money is God. Free trade demonstrates the rights and beliefs of the individual are given by God and thus are unimpeachable. Free trade demonstrates that belief in the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, are the only tenets necessary to fulfill the rights of the individual. The fruit of the Spirit is the template of the higher order. Communist socialism claims that the state is the higher order. Corporate capitalism claims that the dollar is the higher order. Free trade demonstrates that the laws of nature and of nature's God are not only the higher order, but are likewise infallible. Communist socialism claims that love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control are only pertinent to the state. Corporate capitalism claims that love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control are only pertinent to the dollar. Free trade demonstrates that love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control are both the right and the responsibility of the individual. Communist socialism punishes nonconformity. Corporate capitalism punishes nonconformity. Free trade punishes haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a man who stirs up dissension among brothers. Communist socialism claims to destroy evil whilst committing 7 sins. Corporate capitalism claims to destroy evil whilst committing 7 sins. Free trade recognizes that both communist socialism and corporate capitalism are two sides of one coin. Heads you win, tails you lose. Either way. Communist socialism claims that communist socialism eradicates the base desires of man. Corporate capitalism claims that corporate capitalism balances the base desires of man. Free trade recognizes that the responsibility of a man is the responsibility of a man, and thus the man is free to make their own choices with open understanding of the consequences. Communist socialism claims that man is an animal. Corporate capitalism claims that man is a god. Free trade demonstrates that man is man and that God is God. Free trade demonstrates that without higher order, there is no lower order. So it is demonstrated. Communist socialism subjugates the individual as a collective whole to the benefit of the ruling elite. Corporate capitalism subjugates the individual as a collective whole to the benefit of the ruling elite. Free trade subjugates none who take responsibility for the practice of the fruit of the Spirit. And herein is the cinch point. Communist socialism does not forgive. Corporate capitalism does not forget. Free trade exists only if the responsibility to forgive and forget is left to the individual. Communist socialism has no use for money, but depends on corporate capitalism to maintain its existence. Corporate capitalism has no use for slaves, but depends on communist socialism to maintain its existence. Both of them pretend as if the other is non-existent in all of its regards. Both of them pretend as if they are the enemies of one another, and somehow in communist countries, they lose their right to autonomy, to produce for corporate countries. In corporate countries, they lose their autonomy to the corporate whole itself. And that without ever truly accepting the idea that the only reason that their form of capitalism exists is because of the form of socialism that exists in another country. Colin Kaepernick, for instance, demonstrates exactly this point. He kneels for the national anthem, but laudates and supports Nike. He kneels against capitalism, against corporate capitalism rather. He kneels against corporate capitalism, but does not kneel against communist socialism. It's a publicity stunt. A false witness who pours out lies. One who stirs up dissension among brothers. And that's only one example of so many that are coming to light these days. But I don't want to get held up on that. So, finally, dear brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or worthy of praise, think on such things. Communist socialism fails in this regard, but manipulates its image. Corporate capitalism fails in this regard, but manipulates its image. Free trade embodies this in the image of the higher order. If you have read this, I ask that you take its words to heart. I ask that you share this message and put it into practice. I ask that I do the same. And I ask that the God of peace be with you. My sources were Proverbs 6 and Philippians 4. That's all I have for now. I love you all. May God bless our day.